reconciliations, 3B and 1, 2B and 3B, input reconciliation, RCM reconciliation, closing balance reconciliation. So multiple reconciliations are there. And when we have to present this reconciliation in front of government, then the form GSTR-9 and 9C is there. And sir, the form GSTR-9 and 9C is very important. I will also share the logics. But before moving to the logics, I just require 2 to 3 things from all of you. The first thing, sir, I want the session interactive. Okay, interesting, I will make. It should be interactive from your side. If you have any query, any question, any concern regarding any point, we have chat box, so you can put your queries in the chat box. Okay, and also we have created a WhatsApp group. We have shared a link of that WhatsApp group to individually as well. So you just need to join that WhatsApp group. That WhatsApp group is not just for the session. It is for the discussion till 30th December. That is while filing the GSTR 9 and 9C. If you face any concern, in that case, you can post the queries in that WhatsApp group so that we all can discuss. Okay. The first thing which is required, that is interaction from your side. Second, if it is possible for you, then just keep one notebook and paper and pen with you, so that if you found any specific point, you can make note of that. Okay, so today we all should learn like a student only. Okay, last year we all have filed GSTR 9 and 9C. After 1 year, we all are starting the work on GSTR 9 and 9C. So we just need to start the learning like a student. Okay, ऐसा सोचेंगे कि we have no idea about GSTR 9 and 9C. We are just starting it from scratch. Okay, and yes, the session will be in a very simplified language. I will start the discussion from very basic and will cover the advanced level of GSTR 9 and 9C. Will cover each and every clause. The mode of communication of this session will be English only. 1 or 2 example maybe in Hindi, so we'll convert the same into English for your comfort. Okay, and don't take any type of load. Just feel free, sit on your chairs, or if you are at your home, take one cup of tea or coffee and start learning with us. So sir, just let me know once that are you ready for the discussion on GSTR 9 and 9C? Chat box is completely yours and your comments plays a very important role for me. So I request each one of you for your comments in the chat box today and tomorrow. We have 2 days and we'll cover the content of GSTR 9 and 9C. The first thing, sir, first we'll just try to understand the importance of GSTR 9 and 9C. Okay, because when I know the importance of a specific thing, then only I will give importance to that specific thing. Okay, so first I am just going to share with you the importance of GSTR 9 and 9C. Sir, nowadays we know a lot of litigations are there in GST, and in very near future a lot of litigations will also come in the field of GST. Sir, don't go for the recordings at your end. Our team is doing the recordings. We'll share the recordings with you. Okay, but I request each one of you, please be there live in the session for today and tomorrow. So the future area of practice in GST, you can say, that is litigations. Okay, to save your client from litigations, to prevent your client from litigation, and to argue for your client in case of litigation is completely based on your skills, and that skills you need to present while filing the GSTR 9 and 9C return. Because sir, if I am talking from the perspective of your GSTR 3B and GSTR 1 return, it is nothing, just a format. You just need to fill the data, your return will be filed. GSTR 1 system generated thing or Excel file will be generated from the software. You just need to upload it on the GSTN common portal, your return will be prepared. But in case of GSTR 9 and 9C, nothing will be automatically ready. Okay, yes, many accounting software are preparing the GSTR 9 and 9C, but there is requirement to recheck, there is requirement to reconcile, there is requirement to check the same thing with the books of accounts. And sir, the most important thing, these GSTR 9 and 9C not merely for the purpose of reconciliations. We just need to check each and every line item of the financial statement from the perspective of applicability of GST, from the perspective of determination of value of supply, time of supply, place of supply, whether all the expenditure which has been booked in the financial statement has been considered from the perspective of GST or not, whether all the income has already been considered or not, whether the financial statement, that is balance sheet, the fixed assets are considered for GST applicability or not, your creditors, are also playing a very important role. In case of export, your proceeds in the foreign currency plays a very important role. So these GSTR 9 and 9C are not merely for the purpose of reconciliations, because now we all know that our GSTR 3B and 1 will match in maximum chances. So there will be no difference while filing the GSTR 9 and 9C. The just thing which we need to focus, that is the analysis of law. Okay. So now this time when we'll file our GSTR 9 and 9C, we'll file with reference to law as well. Okay. Hence we have taken the time of 4 hours from you. If we'll just need to fill the figures in the GSTR 9 and 9C, the session may be completed in 45 minutes. Okay. So we'll discuss from the law perspective as well, and the importance of GSTR 9 and 9C. Whenever there will be a litigation, departmental authority will first ask for the form GSTR 9 and 9C. And if they will raise anything issue in your GSTR 9 and 9C, they will say will impose a journal penalty, 50,000 rupees. Sir, that journal penalty is just an indication that there is certain internal defaults. And based on that, departmental authority may go for a analytical, deeply analytical review of your books of accounts. And if your books of accounts, if your GSTR 9 and 9C perfectly filed, in that case, there may be chances that departmental authority will make a first view about your business, about your client, that everything is fine because the 9 and 9C filed perfectly. That is what is the first point from the perspective of litigations we should prepare. Second, whenever there will be an income tax audit, at that time also they are just check the cross verify the data which you have filed on GSTN common portal. That plays also a very important role. Whenever there will be a scrutiny or any search related cases, they may ask the books of accounts. With that, they will compare your GSTR 9C and 9. So you can say the GSTR 9 and 9C are the most important documentation, most important compliance under GST. Because 3B and 1 can be filed by your staff. But while finalizing the GSTR 9 and 9C, I request each one of you just go through with the form very critically. And this year, government has made a lot of changes in GSTR 9. So we just need to be careful from that changes. Okay. So in this particular session, basically, we'll do the clause by clause analysis of form GSTR 9 and 9C. We'll also discuss certain techniques that how you can prepare your GSTR 9 and 9C very effectively, efficiently. We'll also discuss what are the things you should keep in your mind from the current year perspective. We'll also discuss what are the specific criteria which we need to fulfill. Okay. And today, we are also going to launch a new book on GSTR 9 and 9C, Technical Guide to GSTR 9 and 9C. This book is completely updated. Okay, this is an e-book. Last time we have launched the physical book. This time we have a digital book, e-book on GSTR 9 and 9C. In this particular book, we have covered each and everything technically, practically, theoretically from the perspective of GSTR 9 and 9C. So let's start our discussion on this GSTR 9 and 9C. I just request from you, feel free, okay, one pen and paper, any important note if you found, you can make note of that, okay. Other everything you should, I will take care for you, okay. So sir, first of all, we'll take the GSTR 9. So today we'll discuss on GSTR 9. Tomorrow we'll take the GSTR 9C. So basically, first thing, that is, sir, for preparing any return under GST, there is requirement of certain documentation. So first thing is that what are the important documentation which we should take from our client for the smooth filing of GSTR 9? That is what is the main question, okay. Because if we collected the perfect documentation from our client, in that case we can file the GSTR 9 and 9C very smoothly, very easily, without any hurdle, okay. So first thing which we discuss about the documentation. And sir, I request, this GSTR 9 and 9C is not merely a compliance. This is more than that. Okay, you can check the internal control of your client. You just need to provide certain additional advisory to your client through this GSTR 9 and 9C, so it will create an impact. Okay, client will think that yes, my tax consultant, my tax practitioners is doing something extra. Otherwise, everyone is filing GSTR 9 and 9C. What additional we are providing to our client? That is what is the concern. That is what is the question. So, documentation, sir. Just prepare a list, provide the same to your client that these are the documentation you should provide to us so that we can prepare your GSTR 9 and 9C. The first documentation, which is your GSTR 3B, consolidated. That is for financial year 2024-25, from 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025, you have to take a consolidated GSTR 3B generated from books of accounts. Okay. GSTR 1, that is also consolidated in Excel. You just need to take the whole year GSTR1 generated from the accounting software in the Excel. There is also requirement to take the audited financial statement. As the audit has already been completed, so you can easily take the audited financial statement. With that, I suggest you should take the system generated financial statement. Okay, so that if there will be any variance, you can easily find out the same in the audited financial statement, in the system generated financial statement. And also, sir, when you are taking the GSTR 3B consolidated from the software and GSTR 1 consolidated from the software, one thing which you need to keep in your mind, that while taking the data, you also need to cross verify that the data which has been generated from the accounting software is perfect or not. And sir, this is my experience. In 30 to 40% cases, you will find that the data generated from the accounting software have certain issues. This is the additional point you can suggest to your client. So how we can cross verify? That is what is the first thing. So in GSTR 3B, your sales, you just need to reconcile with the profit and loss account, which is there in books of accounts. There may be chances some entries has not been transferred to your GSTR 3B while generating from the accounting software. So it will be additional point you can provide to your client. GSTR 3B, GSTR 1, audited financial statement, system generated financial statement you should take. With that, you also need to take the trial balance. And closing trial balance is not required. You should take the trial balance, opening, debit, credit, and closing balance, so that you can check the significant movement. Okay, I will also share the technique. Okay, it will not take much more time. आप सोच रहे होगे if we'll collect this much of data, in that case how we can finalize the GSTR 9 and 9C on timely basis. So we'll share the technique how you can effectively do the same. Okay, system generated means not GSTN. System generated means accounting software. Whatever will be the accounting software you should take. System generated will also do, but first thing is your accounting software that we need to take care, because GSTR 9 and 9C is not a reconciliation between 3B and 1. GSTR 9 and 9C is reconciliation between your books of accounts. We'll also discuss that point. So these are the basic documents which we need to take: 3B consolidated, 1 consolidated, audited financial statement, system generated financial statement, and trial balance. Okay, when you are taking the so if it is not possible in your accounting software or SAP to take the trial balance, in that case you can take the balance sheet. Okay, balance sheet with each and every line item, detailed balance sheet you can say, so your work will automatically done. Sir, there is no requirement to take the system generated 9, not at all required. Will prepare, because we all are professional, will prepare the 9 from ourselves. Okay, accounting software means you can say, for example, Tally, Busy, SAP, multiple accounting software, ERP softwares are available in the market. So, and each and every accounting software is generating these reports. Okay. With that, before starting the GSTR 9 and 9C work, just assign downloading of GSTR 9 from the GSTN common portal to any of your office staff. so that one person can download all the GSTR-9 from the GSTN common portal. Okay, take a printout of that GSTR-9. As per my suggestion, you should take the printout of that GSTR-9 so that it will be part of your working as well. You just need to add 2 to 3 additional pages with that particular printout, so that additional point, additional reconciliation you can prepare on that particular file as well. In Excel you are maintaining, that is perfect, but simple notes you should maintain manually as well, so that your work will be very efficient, effective. We'll share the logic as well. Okay, so this is the very basic point about the documentation collection from the accounting software and how we can cross verify the same. Okay, now sir, applicability of this GSTR-9. If your turnover is 2 crore or more, in that case there is requirement to file the GSTR-9 return. But I suggest that if everything is perfect in the business, and if the turnover is below 2 crore, then also you can file the GSTR-9 return. Because if everything is reconciled, in that case, what is the issue in filing the GSTR-9 return? Okay, because you are not supposed to change anything in future in your sales and purchase, so you can file it. Okay, so GSTR-9 turnover 2 crore or more, in that case you have to file the GSTR-9 return. Now sir, logically समझते हैं कि what data is required in GSTR-9. Okay, first I am just going to clear the base of GSTR-9, then we'll directly move to the technical terms. So sir, while filing our GSTR-3B return on GSTR common portal, what we are doing, we are just providing the figures of sales, we are just providing the figures of input tax credit. Okay, while filing the GSTR-1 return, what we are doing, we are providing the figures of our sales. Okay, now the question is that while filing the 3B or 1 return, I am just providing the figures in 3B, and in 1 I am providing the invoice wise details of the sales. Okay, in my books of accounts, what I am providing, my sales, my purchase, my expenditure. Okay, and at the end government is required the reconciliation. So basically there are 3 type of documentation which may be there, or 3 type of scenarios which may be there in GST. One is your 3B, one is your 1, and another one is your books. And basically while filing the GSTR-9 return, your all the 3 line items should be reconciled. That is what is the purpose of this GSTR-9. Okay, 3B, 1, and books of accounts. Now sir, 3B may we have reported the sales. So first thing, in the GSTR-9 return, definitely government will demand the reconciliation of sales. In 3B we have also shown the purchase, so definitely government will demand the reconciliation of purchase. I am taking the topic from very basics. Okay, if you are filing the GSTR-9 return for the first time, you can easily file. Okay, and if you are already pro in that GSTR-9 and 9C, in that case I am just going to do something add-on for you as well. Okay, so sales and purchase in your GSTR-3B or GSTR-1, you have reported the sales or purchase. Now question is that when you have made the sales, there may be chances that you have made the sales to registered person, that is called as B2B. You may make the sales to unregistered person, that is called as B2CS. Okay, when you are claiming the input tax credit, there may be chances that you have made the purchase of input, or there may be chances you have taken the services. There may be chances for your business you have bought certain capital goods like plant and machinery, like you require one air conditioner in your business, so you have bought a AC. So there may be chances of purchase of capital goods. Okay, so sales you have made for B2B, B2CS, purchase maybe input, maybe services, maybe capital goods. Okay, now sir, when we are talking from the perspective of sales, B2B and B2CS, There may be chances I have made a sales of 1 crore rupees. There may be chances I have received back 10 lakh rupees sales. That is called as sales return. So there may be chances of sales return. And whenever there will be a question of sales return, whenever there will be a question of reduction in output tax liability, there will be a name called credit notes. So when there will be a reduction, credit note. Sir, there may be chances earlier I have prepared the invoice. Now, after making the invoice, there is a price revision. There is a rate difference. And due to that, there will be an increase in the output tax liability. So for that purpose, I have to issue the debit. So credit and debit note. Okay. With that, when we are talking from the perspective of sales, there may be chances that I am making the sales in domestic market, right? There may be chances I am involved in the export. I am selling the goods outside India. I am supplying the goods outside India. So that will be called as export. There may be chances that I am making the supply to a special economic zone. Government has identified certain area and categorized the area as a special economic zone. So there may be chances that someone is supplying the goods to a special economic zone for authorized operations. Now, when I'm making the sales, there may be chances that the sales is for taxable product. There may be chances that the sales is for exempted product. There may be chances that the sales is for non-GST. Petrol की भी supply कर सकता हूं मैं. There may be chances. Okay. Now, when I'm making the supply, when I'm making the sales, there may be chances in certain scenarios the recipient is liable to make the payment of taxes. Normally, when I am making the sales, I will be liable to make the payment of tax. But there may be certain issues in which the recipient is going to pay the taxes. That is called as RCM. The recipient will pay this tax. These are the probable scenarios which I have presented in front of you. Now we'll just try to collect all the scenarios in one chart for your reference. Okay. Sir, sales. There may be chances that I may make the sales of taxable product and exempted product. When I am talking from the perspective of exempted, it includes non-GST, it includes nil rated, it includes exempted. Okay. When I am talking from the perspective of sales of taxable and exempted, there may be chances I am supplying to B2B or B2CS. Okay. When I am making the supply, there may be chances of return, that is called as credit note and debit note. Okay. And when I am talking from the perspective of sales, there may be chances there is a taxable sales. Sorry, there is a domestic sales, there is an export, there is a special economic zone. These are the bifurcation of sales which we are making during the financial year. So at the end, while filing the GSTR-9 return, government is asking for the consolidated figure of all these type of sales, all these type of bifurcations, and you just need to reconcile the total figure with your total sales which you have reported in your books of accounts. Sir, point is clear for everyone. We'll just link these things to your GSTR-9 return very easily. At this time, definitely, you all will get each and every point related to 9 and 9C in a very smooth way, very easy way. So just confirm me once that, sir, are you with me? Are you getting the points? In the total session of 2 hours, I will ask around 5 to 7 times that this point is okay for you. And at that time, I just request each one of you provide your response in the chat box. Okay. Because each and every point, these points are looking very simple, but these are very important for the discussion. Okay. So till now, we have done that about the applicability of GSTR-9 return. If your turnover 2 crore or more, 9 is applicable. Okay. There is requirement to take the documentation from your client, that is your 3B consolidated, your 1 consolidated, your trial balance, and your balance sheet, financial statement audited and system generated. Also, there is requirement to take the PDF of the GSTR-9 generated from system, take a printout, attach 1 or 2 additional pages and make the reconciliations. That is what is the mechanism. And after that, we have done the analysis, that is requirement reporting of the sales. Now, sir, sales ka review done. Sales ka review done. Now we'll start our discussion on the that is input tax credit. Now we'll start our discussion on the ITC bifurcation. Okay. Your technical terms like exempted, nil rated, non-GST, if you require the difference, the same is given in the book. Also we'll discuss, okay, the difference. Now, sir, ITC will always be there due to my purchase. ITC will always be there due to my purchase. Okay. And when I am talking from the perspective of purchase, it means I have bought input goods and services. Okay. So ITC may be due to purchase. Or when I am saying related to purchase, there may be chances I bought the goods or services from India. There may be chances I bought the goods from outside India, that is called as import. And in case of import, we all know, that, sir, the purchaser, the buyer needs to pay the taxes under reverse charge mechanism, and buyer will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. Okay. There are two mechanisms for payment of tax. One is forward charge, another is reverse charge. In case of forward charge, supplier is going to make the payment of taxes. In case of reverse charge, recipient is going to make the payment of taxes. Okay. So purchase, ITC I can claim. ITC may be on account of my domestic purchase, on account of my outside India purchase, that is called as import. Now, sir, after buying the goods, after claiming the input tax credit, I have to make the payment to my creditors within 180 days. And if I have not made the payment to my creditors within 180 days, I need to do the reversal of input tax credit. That is what is called as one type of reversal, non-payment to creditors. Sir, there may be chances, sunna gaur se, sir, there may be chances that there is a head office and head office has taken the centralized services on behalf of the whole industry. In that case, the head office has to transfer the input tax credit to the various branches in the ratio of turnover. And when the head office is going to transfer the input tax credit, in that case, the ITC will be available in the branches. So that is called as ISD, input service distributor wala ITC, and that should be shown in GSTR-9 return. We can say conclusively, any type of input tax credit which you have claimed during the financial year, you have to report it in your GSTR-9 and provide the reconciliation with your books of accounts. Okay. So non-payment of creditors. There may be chances the ISD who has transferred the input tax credit, ISD has distributed certain excess input tax credit. So in that case, there is requirement of reversal. So reversal on account of ISD. These type of reversals which is there in GST which we need to show. Okay, basically. There are two specific reversal rules are also there, that is called as rule number 42, 43. We all know, if anything which I have bought, I have to utilize in my business. Okay. And if I am not utilizing in my business, in that case, I have to reverse the input tax credit. That means, suppose I have bought a particular thing. Partially I am using in my business, partially for my personal purpose. Rule number 42 is there. You have to do the reversal. If I bought any capital goods and that capital goods I am using for my personal purpose, for my business purpose, for exempted supply, for taxable supply, both, in that case also there is requirement of reversal. So for capital goods there is rule number 43, for input service rule number 42 is there. So reversal may be due to rule number 42 and 43. So these type of bifurcations are required in your GSTR-9 return. With that, sir, one very popular, very famous, very special form is also there. That, sir, when you are claiming the input tax credit, you should claim the input tax credit as per your GSTR-2B. Every month, we have a burden on our head. that sir, we have to claim the ITC as per 2B, we cannot claim the ITC in excess of GSTR 2B. So definitely government will demand a reconciliation at the year end with your GSTR 2B and 3B. That type of reconciliation is also 2B and 3B. If there is any difference in GSTR 2B and 3B, government is asking for the reasons. There may be chances certain ITC which is there in GSTR 2B, but you have not claimed, that is ITC available but not availed. There may be chances certain ITC which is there in 2B, but the same is ineligible. Taxpayers bought the bathroom items, okay, sanitary items for personal purpose and given the GSTN of the business. So the ITC will be reflected in 2B, but the same is not eligible. There may be chances certain ITC which is there in GSTR 2B but claimed in the subsequent financial year within the timeline. So that we need to report. So that type of reconciliation is also. Now, sir, for filing GSTR-9, for filing GSTR-9C, for filing 3B and 1, the end purpose of the government is to check that whether the taxpayer has paid the proper taxes or not. That is what is the purpose. So how we can verify? What is the solution which is there for the checking of the tax payment? So for that purpose, government said that Mr. You have option. Whatever will be your outward supply, you have to pay the output tax on your outward supply. And that output tax you have to set off from your input tax credit. Okay? And the balance figure you have to pay through the cash. Okay. So government is saying that Mr. At the year end, while filing the GSTR-9 return, also provide us one detail that your tax liability under IGST, CGST, SGST, suppose X amount, X amount, X amount. So just provide us the detail that the tax liability for the whole year outward supply you have paid through the ITC. So show the figure of ITC and balance figure show cash. Okay. So your adjustment will be there. Now, government said that Mr. Taxpayer, suppose in your GSTR 3B or 1 return you have reported your outward tax liability. Okay. There may be chances you forgot to report any liability. So in that case, what we'll do, will provide you the opportunity in form GSTR-9. You can edit your tax liability figure. Okay. Suppose in your 3B, you have paid 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. Adjusted, done. Now, while filing the GSTR-9 return, you found that the tax liability under IGST is 1.20. These figures government are saying that you cannot change because you have already made the payment. But tax liability you can change because for government incoming is available. So as soon as you have changed your liability to 1 to 1.2, 1 to 1.2, there will be a demand that you have to pay through cash while filing the GSTR-9 return. So that type of reconciliation regarding the tax liabilities also. Now, sir, taxpayer said that, sir, I am a human being. I am not a god. I am a human being. So there may be chances that for financial year 2024-25, there may be chances I have not claimed the input tax credit during the financial year itself. Or there may be chances I have not paid the taxes during the financial year itself. Or there may be chances I have less claimed the input tax credit. Or there may be chances I have excess paid the output tax. So can you please provide some additional timeline to me for making the adjustments? So government is saying granted. We'll give you a timeline. We'll give you a timeline after completion of their financial year, and within that financial year, you may declare any outward supply. You may reduce any outward supply. You may claim any input tax credit. You may reverse any input tax credit till that particular timeline related to financial year 2024-25. That also you need to separately mention in your GSTR-9 return. That facility is also available. That is called as adjustments related to current year made in subsequent year. Sir, this is about your sales, about your purchase, about your claiming, about your tax payment. There may be chances during the financial year you have claimed the refund. There may be chances during the financial year you have made any supply to composition dealer. There may be chances during the financial year you have made a certain deemed export. Okay, we'll discuss the definition of deemed export as well. So that also you need to provide separately. Taxpayer said that, sir, refund, deemed export, composition dealer, these are not so important, we think. So government said these are optional for you. If you want to provide the details, you can provide. If you don't want, you cannot. That is the option. Okay. Then after, sir, when you are supposed to report your outward supply in your GSTR-1 return, one very specific thing which we need to report, that is HSN code-wise summary, outward sales. So government said whatever will be the outward supply which you have made during the financial year, you have to provide the consolidated summary of HSN code so that we can reconcile your tax liability which you have declared in GSTR-9 with your HSN code wise summary, that everything is perfect, your quantity wise detail is also perfect. Or so basically in the GSTR-9 return, government is demanding the reconciliation. You can say they are demanding the sales bifurcation, maybe in B2B, B2CS, exempted, taxable, non-GST, domestic export. There may be chances of credit and debit note. There may be chances of the reverse charge mechanism in case of input tax credit, maybe domestic purchase, maybe outside India purchase, that is import. There is requirement to bifurcate the purchase input service, capital goods. There may be chances of certain reversals on account of non-payment to creditors, on account of ISD, on account of Rule 4243. After your output and input, you have to pay the tax. After adjustment of output with the input tax credit, cash liability will be there. With that, there may be chances of any adjustment which is related to current financial year. You have to show in subsequent financial year. So you have to show it. There may be chances to provide a reconciliation between GSTR 2B and 3B ITC. Sir, do you think that government may demand these things in your GSTR-9 return? Okay. अभी हमने GSTR-9 open भी नहीं किया है. Till we have not opened the GSTR-9 return, but basically we have done the GSTR-9 return. Sir, are you with me about the basics of GSTR-9 return? The details, what are the details which is required to file the GSTR-9 return is okay for you? 2 to 3 questions are there. Okay, one is if there is excess input, if there is excess sales in books of accounts and less reported in GSTR-9, what to do? That scenario we'll discuss. Okay, just wait. Column will discuss where you need to feed the figures related to 2023-24. Is there any facility available? Whether there is any amendment, everything will discuss. Okay, clause by clause analysis will do. Now just ensure me one thing. That, sir, the basic discussion from the perspective of various things, which is clear in your mind or not. Just create an image in your brain that these are the things and try to create the fields. When you will open the GSTR-9 return, you will find the same fields. Nothing changes there. Sir, everything will discuss, the block, credit, everything will discuss. Exempted sales will discuss. If anything which you have not reported in your GSTR-9 return, GSTR-1 return, can you show in GSTR-9 return? Every scenario from every perspective will discuss. Devan sir, we have already done the review just 1 minute back. Okay, and you will also get the recording so you can go through with it. Also, this time with the lecture, you will get a 10-minute short video. In that 10-minute, we'll cover the complete GSTR-9 and 9C from sketch till advanced. So that 10-minute video you can share with your staff. You can also watch at the time of filing of GSTR-9 return. So it will be very easy for you to find out the things. Okay. You need not to watch the complete 2-4 hours session. That will discuss sales not reported in GSTR 3B return quarterly. Now what to do? Parvez sir, ITC is not possible after that timeline, but we'll discuss the things. Okay. So we'll discuss a 10 minutes video as well. Now let's start our discussion on the clause by clause analysis of GSTR-9. I am not covering the penalties because we all know that the penalty implication which is there in case of GSTR-9. Okay. 25 rupees under CGST, SGST, if your turnover is up to 5 crore rupees, above 5 crore, but up to 20 crore, 50 rupees is there, otherwise 100 rupees is there, and the timeline is also there. So today, through this particular session, we'll try to cover the return filing on time. Okay, we are not supposed to delay. Sir, are you enjoying the session now? Are you getting the points? This session is not boring. I think you all are getting the points. Are you enjoying the session? I request the scenario related questions you should not ask because we have not covered the scenarios. Okay, we'll cover each and every scenario. Now let's start our discussion. The first part, we have divided this GSTR-9 into 6 parts. Okay, in first part, government is asking for the basic details, that who are you, tum kaun ho. Okay, government is asking for that. So in the basic details, they are just demanding that what is the financial year for which you are filing the GSTR-9 return, basically for 2024-25. Your GSTN will be auto-populated. Your legal name will be auto-populated. Trade name, if you have applied, in that case, also the same will be auto-populated for you. Okay. So in this particular field, we need not to do anything. It will be auto-populated completely. Now, we'll come to a very specific points, that is the details related to outward supply. Okay. Now I require your 100% attention on the screen because now the technical discussion is going to be start. Okay, and I am just going to share multiple scenarios with you as well. As whatever will be your sales, you have to provide the bifurcation in B2B, B2CS. Okay. Now, sir, one thing which I want to add on. Okay. If it is possible for you, then just keep one notebook and pen ready because we have multiple scenarios. So we'll share with you. You can make note of that. Okay. So, sir, B2B, B2CS. These fields are auto-populated from your GSTR-1 return. These fields are auto-populated from your GSTR-1 return. Okay. These fields are auto-populated from your GSTR-1 return. Now, first scenario is that your books of accounts, your GSTR-9, GSTR-1 completely okay. That means the B2B, B2CS bifurcation is completely perfect and the same is as per books of accounts. Then no need to do anything. Keep the figures as it is. That is the first ideal scenario. Second scenario, suppose the figures which is there in your B2B, B2CS totally same in books of accounts and in GSTR-1. But the point is that in B2CS, suppose you have shown 45 lakh and B2B, you have shown 2 crore and 35 lakh. Okay. But as per books of accounts, B2CS is 35 lakh and B2B is 2.45 lakh. Okay. In that case, question is that whether we need to keep the figures as it is or we need to convert it as per books of accounts. So, sir, I request, government has also issued one advisory that your GSTR-9 should be based on books of accounts. So here, no changes in the tax liability. So you just need to do one thing, change the figures as per your books of accounts. Is that okay? Third scenario, suppose in your B2CS, you have shown 45 lakh and in your B2B, 2 crore and 35 lakh. Okay. As per books of accounts, B2CS is 45, but B2B is 2.45, 2 crore and 45 lakhs. That means 10 lakh rupees sales which you have not reported yet. That I am saying you have not reported that sales till now. In that case, what will be the solution? So what you need to do, you just need to reflect the figures here as per your books of accounts. So additional liability will automatically created in your tax liability table, that we'll discuss later on. Okay, so till now you just need to keep one point in your mind: any skipped sales which you have not shown yet, that is till filing of GSTR-9 return, you need to add on right now, so that the tax liability will automatically created, and that tax liability you have to pay through the cash. Three scenarios. One, ideal scenario. Second scenario, there is change but consolidated is same. In that case, yes, you can make it as per books of accounts. Okay. Third one, any skipped sales. In that case, yes, you need to put the sales. Now, fourth scenario, which is also very interesting. Here, the data is populated from your GSTR-1 return, 45 lakhs in your B2CS and 2.35 in your B2B. But there is difference between your GSTR-1 and GSTR-3. But your GSTR-1 and books of accounts is same. As per your books of accounts, liability is perfect. In that case, there is requirement to do anything? Not at all. Keep the figures as it is, because we have to file the GSTR-9 return as per books of accounts. Now, sir, your tax liability will be created as per GSTR-3B. There may be certain differences. So we'll discuss how to report. But till now, the point is that if there is any difference between 3B and 1, and your 1 is as per books of accounts, in that case, you need to keep the figures as it is. Now, fifth scenario. Sir, scenario note down karte jaye. Fifth scenario, suppose your books of accounts and GSTR-3B is perfect. Your books of accounts and GSTR-3B is perfect, but there is certain issue in GSTR-1. So while filing the GSTR-9, your figures will be auto-populated as per GSTR-1. But this is not as per books of accounts. Now what to do? Put the figures as per your books of accounts. Because your books of accounts and 3B is perfect. So put the figures as per your books of accounts. So that while reconciling the same with your tax liability, everything will be perfect. Sixth scenario, rarest scenario, but most typical scenario, your books of accounts 3B and 1, no match is there. There is difference in all the three parameters. In that case, what to do? Keep your books of accounts final. Put the figures as per your books of accounts. If in your GSTR-3B and 1 you have paid the less taxes, then automatically liability will be created. You have to pay while filing GSTR-9 return if not paid yet. And if the same has already been adjusted in the subsequent period, in that case, you have to report it. We'll discuss where to report. But if there will be a difference, we have to report as per books of accounts. Conclusively, we can say in case of ideal situation, keep the figures as it is. If GSTR-1 and books of accounts is matched, in that case, keep the figure as it is. If 3B and books of accounts same, but difference in GSTR-1, then keep the figures as per books of accounts. If there is different in each and every scenarios, each and every parameter, in that case, put the figures as per books of accounts. Sunne mein, it shows something crucial, but it is very easy. Okay? That is, conclusively, our GSTR-9 should be as per books of accounts. Next, zero rated supply. Sir, what do you mean by this zero rated supply? Means export. When you are making the export after paying the taxes, that is with payment export, and refund is there on account of payment of IGST, you have to show it here. That is zero rated supply. Your export will always be zero rated supply. Okay. Supply to special economic zone. As we all know, government has identified a certain area and classified as a special economic zone. And if you are making any supply to the special economic zone, in that case, the refund will be granted. Okay, because the same is zero rated area. So supply to special economic zone should be reported here. Sir, deemed export. Sir, what do you mean by this concept of deemed export? If there will be any supply to export oriented units, okay, EOU. If there will be any supply to a specific advance authorization, or suppose I am a manufacturer, okay, and someone is coming to me and saying that Mr. Sachin, I want to buy this specific product for export. Okay, can you please supply that product? So I can say, yes, I am here to supply the products. I will charge GST at the rate of 18%. But the person is saying that, Mr. Sachin, you cannot charge 18%. You just need to charge 0.10% because I am an exporter and I am going to export the products. So you just need to charge 0.10%. And when I am making a supply to a specific person who is going to export the same, that will be called as deemed export. So that deemed export is also required to be shown here. Yes, your GSTR-9 should be as per books of account. We'll share the advisory as well. Also, the same is included in the books, is in this ebook as well. Okay. LUT is not required to show in the GSTR-9 return. There is not at all required. Okay. Table 4, you have to report the sales as per 2024-25 only. Okay. So deemed export. So here, what we are doing, we are just doing the categorization. Okay. And at the end, basically, the purpose of GSTR-9 is to reconcile the data with your books of accounts. Okay. Because at the end, your books of accounts will be treated as the final documentation. Okay. So we should take care of that. Otherwise, suppose in your GSTR-3B1 reconciled, but there is difference in books of accounts. At the time of audit, they have demanded the audited financial statement. And if they found any differences, they will create the demand. Because you have made the sales, but you have not reported in your GSTR-9 return. Sir, we'll discuss. Just try to learn the basic things. Then we'll discuss your last year related figures, how the data will be auto-populated. Everything we'll discuss. Okay. Deemed export. For deemed export, there is requirement of certain documentation. Yes. If I am making the supply to a particular exporter, I have to take the copy of LUT from that particular person. I also need to take a declaration that the person is going to make the export within 90 days. I also need to take the copy of IEC certificate, import export certificate. Okay. These are the mandatory documents which is required. Sir, Rajesh sir, when I am saying the books of accounts, that means audited financial statement, because your books of accounts should be in line with your audited financial statement. There should be no difference ideally. Okay. Sir, in case of your B2CS, unregistered sales will be net of debit and credit note. But for B2B, registered sales should be gross amount. That is only your sales. That should not include your credit and debit note, because separately we are supposed to show the debit and credit note. Okay. So no need to show. Point number 4C is related to zero rated supply. Sir, when I am going to make a export that is outside India supply, that will be called as zero rated supply. Okay, that I need to show here. That is 4C. Now, advance on which tax has been paid but invoices has not been issued. Sir, as we all know, in case of services, there is requirement to pay GST on account of advance. Suppose you have invited me for a session. I have charged a fees of 1 lakh rupees. You have given me the advance of 50,000 rupees in April month. But I am just going to perform my service in August month. I will raise the invoice in August month. But 50,000 I have received in advance. So I have to pay GST on the advance amount of 50,000 rupees when I have received. So that figure I also need to show. So I think now, while analyzing the table wise presentation of this GSTR-9, you are getting one point, that every basic point which we have covered is there. Okay. Inward supply on which tax is to be paid under reverse charge mechanism. Sir, we have done a discussion that there may be chances of two types of tax payment. One is under forward charge, another is under reverse charge mechanism. So when there will be a requirement to pay the taxes under reverse charge mechanism, then we need to show here. That means as a recipient, I have received something. As a recipient, I have received something. In that case, I have to pay the tax under reverse charge mechanism, and the same figure should be shown. And when I am showing any figure here, okay, as we all know, section 9 subsection 3, as we all know, when I am paying the taxes under reverse charge mechanism, I am eligible to claim the input tax credit. So we just need to ensure, when we are putting the figure related to RCM here, we just need to confirm that the same amount ITC has been claimed or not. That is what is your first part, first bifurcation of your sales: B2B, B2CS, export, deemed export, special economic zone, advance, and inward supply on which RCM is applicable. This is the first part. So first part is okay for everyone. Chirag sir, that is a technical point, that you have wrongly paid excess reverse charge mechanism. You have wrongly paid excess reverse charge mechanism in your GSTR-3B return, and while filing the GSTR-9 return, what you need to do? Okay, so you have an option. You can show the correct figure. No need to reverse the input tax credit. Okay, show the correct figure in your GSTR-9 ITC as well, because sir, you have pay the taxes and then after you have claimed the input tax credit. Okay, so yet now if you have not adjusted the figures, in that case I suggest you need not to reverse the ITC, because you have paid and then you have claimed the input tax credit. Yes, if you know that there is a certain issue in your books of accounts, B2B, okay, and you have identified and corrected the same in your books of accounts, in that case keep the same as it is. Okay, keep it as per your books of accounts. Below we have given multiple explanations related to each and every point which we are covering. Okay, so if you have time, in that case I suggest you should go through with it very detailed way. Okay, although we'll share one PowerPoint presentation with all of you regarding GSTR-9 and 9C. Okay, so that will be a very simple, in 10 to 15 pages we have done the discussion on GSTR-9 and 9C. We'll share it. Okay, this is a bulky book, around 230 pages. If you are ready, if you are ready to read the book, then only take this book. Otherwise, keep the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, if you want the technical analysis of GSTR-9, you can take this book. Okay, this is completely based on technical approach. Multiple circular notifications, references has already been covered in this particular book. Okay, so second, sir, we have already reported the sales. Sir, LUT sales, when you are making the export without payment of tax, we have a separate figure with separate option where we need to show. Okay, just wait. I just need to complete all the fields of GSTR-9. Then after, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay. Yes, rent as RCM related to October 2024 till 31st March 2025. If you have paid in subsequent financial year, you can report it in your GSTR-9, not an issue. Okay. We'll share that how you need to show, where you need to show. That will share. Okay. Now, we have reported the sales. Now the time is to show if there is any sales return. If there is any sales return, that is credit note that we need to show. Okay. The same logic will be applicable as we have done in case of B2B. If the same is reconciled with your books of accounts, keep the figure as it is. If there is difference, put the figure as per books of accounts. Okay. So credit note should be there. Debit note should also be there. Okay. Now, one thing which you need to keep in your mind, that this GSTR-9 always allowed incoming. This GSTR-9 will not allow you for the outgoing. That means GSTR-9 says if any credit note which you have forgot to report in your GSTR-3B and GSTR-1 return and not reported within the timeline of section 16 subsection 4 and you are reporting in your GSTR-9 return only, you will not be eligible to reduce your output tax. If any payable which you are reporting in GSTR-9, you have to pay the taxes. But if there will be any reversible thing is there, if there is any situation in which you have to reduce your output tax, you have to claim your input tax credit, you will not be eligible. Forgot the amount. The same will lapse. Okay. That is what is the purpose we need to keep in our mind. Supplies or tax which is due to amendment. Suppose in your GSTR-1 return, you have filed certain amendments and due to that, if there will be any increase, the same will be there. Okay. Or due to amendment, if there will be any reduction, the same will be there. We all know in GSTR-1 return, there is option available called amendments. We have put any amendment regarding the increase in invoice value, regarding the increase in tax amount, regarding the reduction in invoice value, regarding the reduction in taxable value, regarding the reduction in tax. In that case, the same will be here, automatically auto-populated. Okay. Now, there may be one scenario which I want to share with you. Okay. This GSTR-9 and 9C is very interesting because very technical points are there. One scenario which I just want to share with you, that is, sir, अभी हमने discuss किया, recently we have done a discussion that while reporting B2B, we just need to put the figures as per books of accounts. Okay. Now suppose we have put the figures as per books of accounts and we have filed the amendments in the GSTR-1 return. So whether we need to consider while filing the B2B details as per books of accounts. So sir, main point is that if you have filed any amendment, okay, and after considering the amendment, your amount will reconcile with your books of accounts, then no need to change B2B. Okay. Multiple points are there. You just need to link it in your brain. B2B, we need to reconcile with our books of accounts. But the point is that after adjusting the adjust amendments, if your figure is automatically reconciling with your books of accounts, no need to change the figures which is there in your B2B tab. Okay. Investment point we'll discuss. Okay. If you have any technical queries related to a specific scenario, because now we just need to cover the basic business journal scenario. Okay. We'll also take the business industry specific things. Okay. So I request each one of you that if you have any query, any concern related to industry related things, just put it in the WhatsApp chat. Okay. So that we'll take the same in our tomorrow session in the beginning. So that all the industry wise discussion may be done in tomorrow. If you have any query regarding the specific industry, you have to put it in the WhatsApp. Okay. So I request each one of you just do it. And yes, sir, I am available for you till 31st December and for whole life. Okay. So if you have any query while filing the GSTR-9 and 9C return, you can put it in the WhatsApp group. We'll take your queries on priority basis. Okay. So now, credit note, debit note, everything. The details are there in this particular book. Now, sir, at the time of initial discussion about this session, we have done the bifurcation of sales as taxable, as exempted, nil rated, non-GST. Okay. Tomorrow I will share with you one chart. Okay. We have already created a table, difference between exempted, nil rated, non-GST, because this is the biggest question that there is doubt about the differences between nil rated, non-GST, exempted. So we'll share one table with all of you. Okay. Now, taxable discussion already done. Now we have exempted, nil rated, non-GST. So that also we need to show. That is zero rated supply, export without payment of tax. Sir, LUT, जो भी हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, recently we have received a question in the chat box about the LUT related sales. So whenever you are making the export on account of letter of undertaking and you are not paying the taxes, that is without payment of tax, that zero rated supply should be shown here. In case of Special economic zone without payment of tax supply. In case of special economic zone without payment of tax, the same should be shown here. Special economic zone with payment of tax we have already done. Without payment we need to show here. Supply on which the recipient will be liable to make the payment of taxes. So there may be chances that I am making certain specific supply. Suppose I am a legal consultant, I am an advocate. I am a legal consultant, I am an advocate. If I am providing any advisory legal fees, my recipient will be liable to make the payment of taxes. In that case, that type of supply I have to show here, that I am not supposed to pay. My recipient will be liable. Okay, I am free from the perspective of applicability of taxability. Now, exempted supply, non-GST supply, nil rated supply, petrol, diesel, specific 5 petroleum product. Okay, that should be shown here. Your exempted supply includes your nil rated. Exempted supply means a specific supply which has been notified by the government as exempted, and a specific supply on which the rate has been prescribed as nil rate. The bifurcation should be given in this particular table. So this is just a free wala table. You can say this table is a free table, non-taxability table. This table is specifically here for a reconciliation of your turnover with the books of accounts. Because when you are mentioning the reconciliation in your books of accounts, you will include your exempted, nil rated, non-GST, everything. Export, zero rated, without payment, with payment, domestic. So there is requirement of reconciliation. So government has done two type of bifurcation of your sale. One is taxable, another is not taxable, we can say. In taxable, we have a part of B2B, B2CS. And we have credit and debit note for reduction. The same type of credit debit note are there in case of your not taxable supply. Okay, the same table which we are going to cover. That is the debit and credit note. Credit note, if you have issued with respect to your not taxable supply. When I am using the word not taxable, it includes zero rated, nil rated, non-GST, exempted, special economic zone. So usse related, if any credit and debit note has been issued, the figure should be shown. And if you will see the GSTR-9 return, only value field is enabled. The text field will not be there. Okay. The same will be disabled. Because if it is not taxable, then why there is requirement to show the taxation figures? Okay. If there is any amendment which you have filed in your GSTR1 return, the same should be shown here. So your total turnover will be there. Your total turnover will be there based on your domestic, export, B2B, B2CS, taxable, not taxable, everything will be there in your GSTR9. Yes, sir. Your land sale will be treated as neither supply of goods nor supply of services as per schedule number 3 of CGST Act. No, sir. Export and nil rated sales are not same. Exports are zero rated supply. Nil is a specific rate. Government has prescribed a rate, nil rate on certain commodities. Okay. We'll share a table for your reference for easy understanding. Okay. So, sir, outward related part is okay for everyone. The bifurcation between taxable, not taxable, B2B, B2CS, credit note, debit note, adjustments, amendments, reverse charge mechanism, everything is okay for everyone from the perspective of feeding of data. This point is clear in your brain that how we need to extract the data and what type of data we need to feed in the tables. The first part, that is discussion on part number 2, outward supply. Just confirm me once this point is okay for everyone. So that we can start our discussion on the heart of GST, that is input tax credit. No, sir. Amendment related to financial year 2024-25. If you are made in your May month return, in that case, we have a separate tab where we show. Okay. If during the financial year itself you have made any amendments, in that case, we have to show in amendments that will be automatically auto-fetched in that particular form. Sir, Mahendra sir, regarding the difference between exempted, nil rated and non-GST supply, will provide you a table that will be very easy for you. Okay, exempted is a specific product on which government has issued the notification as per section number 11 of CGST Act. Okay, E for 11, E for exemptions. So that will be called as exempted non-GST supply, which is out from the purview of GST. That is non-GST supply. 5 petroleum products you can say. Nil rated, a specific thing which government is going to specify the rate as nil. Okay, through the notifications, that will be called as nil rated. Now, sir, can we start our discussion on the input tax credit? Sir, everything is going in a very fine way. Okay, my speed is also okay. At any point of time during our session, if you found that my speed has certain issues, in that case, yes, you can put the comments in the chat box. Okay, you just need to utilize 100% of the amount which you have invested for the knowledge of GSTR 9 and 9C. And this is also my responsibility, my purpose to provide the best knowledge in a best way, in a simplified way. That is what is the purpose. So, input tax credit, ITC. Nirav sir, e-way bill, it is not practically possible for us to check the e-way bill related data. Although multiple softwares are available in the market, they can fetch the consolidated data, but there may be chances at any point of time they have created the e-way bill, then after they have cancelled the e-way bill. So multiple permutation combinations are there. So while filing the 9 and 9C return, we just need to limit our work with reference to books of accounts 3B and 1. Okay, GST and common portal. We should not focus on, I think, to the e-way bill because it will unnecessarily create a burden on us. Okay. Now, sir, input tax credit. Okay. While filing the GSTR 1 and 3B return, okay, in GSTR 1 we are reporting the invoice wise details. Okay, suppose 2023-24 related things if you have reported in 2024-25, okay, in that case system will automatically identify that this invoice is related to 2023-24, so the same will not be included in your part number 1. Recently someone has asked the question. Okay, because you have provided the data as per your GSTR 1 and the same is reflected in your GSTR 9, so it will automatically put a filter that 2023-24 related things will not be auto appear. But sir, the point is that in case of input tax credit, we are not providing any invoice wise details because GSTR 2 is not there. The initial stage of GST was GSTR 1, GSTR 2, GSTR 3. But GSTR 2 कभी आया नहीं, GSTR 3 कभी आया नहीं. They have introduced GSTR 1, GSTR 2B, GSTR 3B. So now this GSTR 2B, we are claiming the input tax credit, but we are not providing any invoice wise details. So how the portal is going to segregate your input tax credit if any input tax credit during the current financial year is there from financial year 2023-24? It is next to impossible because in 3B we are putting the consolidated figures. So what is the solution? Till 2023-24 there were no solution available. We have to change the figures, we have to report the differences, we have to reconcile in GSTR-9C. If GSTR-9C is not available, in that case the same will be available in table number 7 and we have to show it at different places. So multiple things will be there. So government has also understand the concern that yes, yeah, this concern is available, so we have to do something for this. Okay, because we are not getting the exact figure. So this time government said that whatever will be your input tax credit which you have claimed in your GSTR 3B return, just take one example and try to understand. Okay, there may be chances without example it will be quite difficult. Okay, I also request each one of you, if you found any complicated point, if you found any typical point, in that case you may comment in the chat box that sir, please provide example for this specific. So we'll put the example as well for you, because I think through the example you can easily understand the things. And I also request, with the session joining link, you all have received one WhatsApp group link. Join it because multiple discussion will be there in the WhatsApp group itself. So financial year 2024-25, your total ITC is 50 lakh rupees. Your total ITC is 50 lakh rupees. Okay. During this particular 2024-25, you have claimed a certain input tax credit related to financial year 2023-24. Okay. So अभी हम लोग बोल रहे हैं within the specified timeline, within the specified timeline. So let's discuss the within the specific timeline meaning as well. So government said that Mr. for financial year 2024-25, if you forgot to claim any input tax credit, if you forgot to show any output tax liability, if you forgot to reduce your output tax liability, if you forgot to claim the input tax credit or reverse the input tax credit, will give you extended timeline, that is 30th November of subsequent financial year. I think this timeline everyone knows. Okay, 30th November of subsequent financial year. That is for financial year 2024-25. The timeline will be 30th November 2025. Now 30th November is not any due date for filing any return. So as we all know that for October month we have a deadline to file the GSTR-1 return, that is 11th of October, and GSTR-3 return, that is 20th, 22nd and 24th, whatever, based on states. Okay, so basically 20th of November will be the due date. Okay, so government said you have a timeline till 30th November. So if you have filed your October month return by 11th, in that case your GSTR-1 related data will be locked. You will not be eligible to make any adjustments, any change related to financial year 2024-25. Your 20th November will be very special, because if you have filed the GSTR-3 return for October month, in that case no chance is available. Recently we have received a question in the chat box as well, that sir, I am a quarterly return filing for September month. I have already filed the return by 13th of October, and now I found certain changes. पहले सोचना चाहिए था. Now the option is not available. Now you need to report it in your GSTR-9 return. And as we all know, for GSTR-9 return, incoming is on, outgoing is not there. So if any tax liability is there, you can show. If there is any reduction in your tax liability or reduction in claim of input tax credit, you will not be eligible to claim. Okay. So that is the very important point which we need to keep in our mind. Okay. After filing the return, and this month is very crucial for us. As we all know that 10th is the due date for filing the audit reports. So I request each one of you complete your audit related work by 5th. Okay. For next 5 days, we have to work on the reconciliations for GSTR-1. Until 20th, we have to make all the adjustment related to input tax credit. I can suggest that your GSTR-9 should be prepared by 20th of November. We just need to file it on GST and common portal, because reconciliations we should prepare by 20th of November. So this month is going to be very crucial for us. Okay, those who are into the GST practice. So suppose in our example, for financial year 2024-25, the total input tax credit is 50 lakh rupees. Regarding financial year 2023-24, I have claimed the input tax credit of 5 lakh rupees in the month of August 2024. So within the timeline of section 16 subsection 4. So basically there is a bifurcation of two type, 45 lakh that is actually related to 2023-24-25 and 5 lakh which is actually related to 2023-24. Two bifurcations are there. Now till 2023-24 in GSTR-9 no option was available to show that 5 lakh rupees separately. And due to that, there may be chances of multiple disputes in future regarding the claimability of input tax credit. Or there may be chances of multiple disputes in the litigations that, sir, what is the amount of last year? Then after we have to provide it through the books of accounts if GSTR-9C is not applicable. So multiple scenarios may be there. So government has come up with a solution. And government said that this particular table 6A, your all ITC will be auto-populated. Total amount of input tax credit as per GSTR-3B will be auto-populated in that GSTR 3B, basically that 5 lakh is also included because that you have claimed in your GSTR 3B return. So that 5 lakh is included. So they have given a option ITC of any preceding financial year which is claimed in the particular financial year. That is, in financial year 2024-25, if you have claimed the input tax credit related to 23-24, in that case you have to show it here. जैसे ही from your total ITC, your ITC related to preceding financial year will deduct. So the final ITC which will be there, we can say the net ITC which will be there, will only related to the current financial year. Am I right? This is a very good step, I can say, taken by the GSTM, so that everyone can provide the figures with 100% confidence. Okay. Now, net ITC. Now, for this net ITC, we have to provide the bifurcation. Net ITC, how I can claim one mechanism, that is, I have bought some goods. Okay. I have utilized the same in my business, so I will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. Basically, we can say that is called as purchase. Okay. Yes, sir. Mahendra, sir, this table should match with your last year GSTR-9. That will discuss. That will discuss when we'll cover point number 12 and 13. If your GSTR 3B turnover is excess and GSTR 1 is less, but your GSTR 1 is perfect, sir, in GSTR 9, the point is that the perfect turnover we should report. There is no negotiation about the thing that which turnover we should report. Whatever will be your final turnover, which we need to report in our GSTR 9. Rajendran sir, I have already given the answer of your question that 2023-24 related ITC claimed in October 2024. So 6A1 is there. HP, I request each one of you, each of the participants, just change the name of this Zoom series with your own name. Okay, so I can interact with you with the name. So in future, when we'll meet at any place, I can recognize you with your name only. Okay, so if it is possible, then change your name. So yes, HP sir, GSTR 2B is invoice wise, but which is not there in your GSTR 3B. While claiming the input tax rate in GSTR 3B, we are just putting the figures. Okay, your 3B, the figures have no idea that what type of invoices which is there in GSTR 2B you have considered for claiming the input tax credit. Okay. Other than reclaim means we'll discuss. Okay. Yes, invoices related to 2023-24 which you have booked in 2024-25, you have to claim. No, sir, that will not include. Paresh Kumar, sir, the ITC which is there is only related to financial year 2024-25, which you have claimed in the particular financial year in your GSTR 3B return. Vinay, sir, that 37, rule number 37 regarding the reclaim of input tax credit, for which I have already said that, sir, just ignore this word other than reclaim, because we'll discuss later on. We have a specific point where we need to show the reclaim related ITC regarding the non-payment non-payment to the creditors within 180 days. So table 6 is as per GSTR 3B. Okay. And we just need to compare it with the books of accounts, and any variation we need to show it. We'll share that where we need to show. We'll discuss the RCM related figures. We'll discuss where we need to show. No, the input tax credit in 3B, which we have claimed in 2024-25, we have just excluded the figures related to preceding financial year, that is 2023-24. So now the figure is completely related to your 2024-25 only. Now you need to provide the bifurcation. Bifurcation may be that you have bought the goods, that is called as purchased. There may be chances that you have paid the taxes under reverse charge mechanism due to section 9 subsection 3 and you are claiming the input tax credit. There may be chances that you have made certain import of the goods and due to which you have paid the taxes under reverse charge mechanism. Okay. There may be chances when you are paying the reverse charge mechanism. Okay. You bought the goods from the registered person or unregistered person. That type of probabilities may be there, and based on that probabilities, yes, government has created the table. Okay. Through this particular session, we are just trying to create some logics, and after logics, we are just going to cover the tables so that it will be there for you for a longer amount of time. So in the next financial year, no need to take the session from Sachin Jain, okay? Because you all will be expert in GSTR-9 and 9C. Yes, sir. Any goods which is stationary, that is your goods. So input goods will be there. Okay. If any service, that is job work related services, if you are taking consultancy related services, you are taking, then the same will be treated as services. Yes, definitely. Ramananda sir, if you are paying the rent related RCM for financial year 2024-25 in the 3B return while filing the October month, you can easily show the RCM related liability for the whole financial year, claim the input tax credit because it is within the timeline of section 16 subsection. For the reverse charge mechanism, if you will take the consultancy from me, I may say that after that timeline also you can claim the input tax credit, but that is completely based on litigations. Okay. I think all the queries I am taking from the chat box. Yes, all type of ITC is included in 6A1. I think this session, the GSTR-9 and 9C session may be extended, okay, because a lot of queries are there. And really, I am very happy when you are asking the queries because it shows that you all are getting something from this particular session. You are understanding the points. Okay. No, any point that will not extend the session will cover the session content in hurry, not at all. If there will be requirement of extension, we'll definitely go. Okay. But the purpose is that you all should get each and every point from the perspective of GSTR-9 and 9C. ITC related point will take. Sir, Nirav sir, outward is as per books of accounts and ITC I am not saying as per 3B. ITC will also be as per your books of accounts. But the same will be auto-populated as your GSTR 3B. If there will be any differences, we need to show it in different columns to make it compatible with your books of accounts. Okay. We have multiple points where we need to show. Dhaval sir, input and input service you may show in one column. Capital goods bifurcation is required, and that you can take very easily. If you will take the fixed assets chart from your client, in the fixed assets chart, if there will be any purchase addition in capital goods, that ITC will be related to capital goods. So you can easily get the calculation. Sir, ineligible ITC will discuss. Will discuss. Sir, Chirag sir will also share with you one Excel file. In that Excel file, will create certain highlights that in this particular field you need to put this this input tax credit taking from this. Everything will provide. Okay, that Excel sheet is already ready with us, so we'll share that Excel file as well so that everyone can get the point that where we need to show. The session is just for the explanatory purpose. Your doubt. Okay. Now, we have one question from HP sir. Re-explain the last date of ITC taken. Sir, for ITC, for output supply, for both the things, we have a timeline, extended timeline. That is called as government said for the financial year, particular financial year. If you forgot to claim any input tax credit, to show any output tax liability, you have a timeline. You can show it till 30th November of subsequent financial year. So, for example, for financial year 2024-25, it's 30th November 2025. But 30th November is not any due date for filing any return. So while filing the October month return, you can treat it is your last date. If you will file your October month return till 30th November, you will be eligible. And if you will file your October month return on 1st of December, tata bye bye. No adjustment will be possible. If there will be a very small amount of exempted sales, in that case, yes, you can ignore it because a lot of calculations may be there in future. If there will be any penalty, you can bear. But as per my suggestion, if it is possible, do the calculations, put the figures, go for the reversal, whether it is a very small amount. Okay. We know, sir, till 8A, 8B is pending. When we'll reach to that 8A, 8B, we'll definitely discuss. Okay. I request each one of you, if you have any question, any query, then ask till the point which we have covered. Don't ask the aage wale questions, the further points. Okay. It will create certain issues. Regarding quarterly filer, the timeline is 30th November, sir. Quarterly filer, September month, you have a timeline till 30th October. You have to file the GSTR 1 return and 3B. So if you will file within the due date, over after filing the return. But if you are filing your September quarter return by 29th of November, yes, you can claim the input tax credit. You can adjust your outward supply. That is permissible. Sir, how to set off the taxes, we'll discuss. Okay. If you are showing any additional liability, how the same will going to be reflected, we'll discuss. Okay. Now, I think all the queries has already been done. Again, queries are there. Sir, Nila Pandi sir, can we do one thing? Or I am asking from each and everyone. We will plan a separate session for half an hour for the queries. Okay. What we'll do, first we'll try to cover the content, then after we'll take the queries. I think it will be very beneficial for each one of you. Okay. Otherwise, there will be a interruption. So first we'll try to cover the content, then we'll take the queries. So, and stay assured, your each and every query related to GSTR 9 and 9C will be solved. Okay. Not during the session, after the session also, if you have any concern, you can connect with me in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So we'll try to cover the content. Otherwise, we'll take only the queries, and at the end, we'll found that the content is still pending. Okay. So we'll first take the comfort zone that yes, our content is under control. And I think when we cover the content, okay, your 50 to 60% queries will automatically come. Okay. Sir, if I will continue the session after 9, then I think everyone will go because 2 hours take the session from a single person. It may be a quite difficult thing. Okay. I am not a film star, I'm not an actor, so that I can present and you will be there to watch a 3-hour movie. It is just a learning. Chandrasekhar sir is ready. So you all are ready till 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. So input ITC may be on account of purchase. ITC may be on account of import, whether we are claiming the input tax credit under reverse charge mechanism. So we have to provide the bifurcation. Okay. Uh, Tomorrow time is 7 p.m. Yes, we'll close the session by 9. Stay assured, we'll close the session by 9. Okay. We'll start our revision by 8:50 to 53. Okay, just give me 5 minute time. So inward supply on account of forward charge, that is, you can say inward supply for the purchase. So we need to provide the bifurcation as input goods, input services, and capital goods. For capital goods we have to show the separate figure. For input service we may show the consolidated figure. Okay, and capital goods, how we can take from the books of accounts fixed assets chart, we can easily get the figures related to capital goods. Okay, then inward supply received from unregistered person liable to reverse charge mechanism. Inward supply liable to reverse charge mechanism. Inward supply which is liable to reverse charge mechanism as per section number 9 subsection 3. So there may be chances of from registered person, unregistered person, so I have to provide the bifurcation. Okay, and that reverse charge mechanism oriented liability may be on account of input service, capital goods. That bifurcation is required. Import of goods, sir, you have made import of goods. In that case also there is requirement to pay the taxes under reverse charge mechanism, because always the importer is going to be liable. If I am going to import any goods from outside India, then I have to pay the taxes under reverse charge mechanism, and I will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. So that ITC I need to show. Okay, and in case of import always IGST will be there, so our IGST figure will be there, nothing will be there. Okay, so we have to show capital goods and input. Import of services, there may be chances you have imported the services, so on account of that if there will be any input tax credit you have to show it here. Input tax credit which is received on account of input service distributor, what do you mean by ISD? If there will be a head office has taken certain services centralized and transfer that site ITC, that is transfer that services, utilize that services by each and every branch. In that case that ITC is going to be transferred to the branches, that is called as IST. ITC reclaimed, that we'll discuss on tomorrow, because we are less amount of time. Today we have to conclude the session on time. So reclaimed ITC will discuss in our tomorrow session in the beginning. Okay. So, sir, I request each one of you, I just require 5 minutes from everyone. Okay. In 5 minutes, we'll go for a recap of the complete session. Today we have started our discussion from the importance of GSTR-9 and 9C. This 9 and 9C is important from the litigation perspective, compliance perspective, from the internal control perspective. Okay, we have also done that what are the documentation which is required while filing the GSTR-9 and 9C return. So we need to take the consolidated 3B, consolidated 1, the trial balance and the balance sheet audited and the system generated, so that we can check. Also we have done a very important point that before starting the work on GSTR-9, we just need to cross verify the data which we have taken from the accounting software, that the same is perfect or not. Then after we have started our discussion on the basics of GSTR-9, that in GSTR-9 we need to provide the reconciliation on account of sales. There may be chances of sales of taxable product, not taxable product. B2B, there may be chances of credit and debit note in case of taxable, in case of not taxable. There may be chances of zero rated supply, domestic supply. There may be chances of reverse charge mechanism oriented supply. So all these type of bifurcations we should provide in our GSTR 9 return. For that purpose we have a second part in which we'll show the bifurcation of outward supply. Then after we have done the discussion on the input tax credit, that your ITC will be taken from your GSTR 3B auto populated. Then after you have to separately show the figure which is related to preceding financial year, and this facility is available for the current financial year from the current financial year itself. Okay, so you can show the figure. Then after the ITC will be completely related to the current financial year, so you have to go for a bifurcation of that ITC, and that bifurcation is required. The bifurcation is required in the field of your domestic purchase, your import of goods, import of services, your reverse charge mechanism from registered person, from unregistered person, and also there is requirement to segregate your ITC as input goods, capital goods, and input services. And yes, capital goods you have to provide it separately. Input service you may show it cumulatively. Also, we have done certain scenarios in which our GSTR-9 outward supply should match with our books of accounts. Okay, if there is any difference in that case, we need to make it as per our books of accounts, that is the liability. Also, we have done a very specific thing that government is going to reconcile your output tax and input tax credit. And after that, if there will be any tax payment, in that case, the payment table will also be there. And we also need to provide the HSN code wise details. So these are the points which we have covered in our GSTR-9 return. We have done the basic discussion. We have done the table wise presentation as well for your reference. I hope all the clauses which you have covered in our today's session is okay for each and everyone. Okay. As cross charge is not applicable from 1st April, but yes, for preceding period, you have to show the cross charge ITC. Will discuss the mechanism. Okay. Yes, sir. Imported from special economic zone, there is requirement. Mahendra sir, I have not told that ITC on account of goods which is received from unregistered person, not at all. Okay, this is unregistered person on which RCM is applicable. Suppose one lawyer is there, that lawyer is not registered under GST. You have taken the legal consultancy from him. In that case, you have to pay the reverse charge mechanism on legal fees, and you will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. Okay, so that type of thing, that will we need to show unregistered person. Suppose you have taken the legal consultancy from a registered person who is registered under GST, and you have taken the legal fees, so you have to pay the RCM. So it will, you need to bifurcate under registered person. We know, sir, 8A, 8B will discuss in our next session. LUT without payment we have already done in our part 1. Okay, also I will share with you one Excel sheet in which I will show you that where you need to show. We'll share the chart of taxable, not taxable by tomorrow. Okay. Sir, 6A1 is very simple. The ITC which you have claimed during the current financial year, but the same is related to preceding financial year. While filing the GSTR-9 of preceding financial year, you have shown the same in table 10, 11, 12, and 13. So you have to provide a bifurcation of the amount. Mahendra sir, I think your doubt is okay. 6A1 is also okay. Yes, RCM, URD, RD, you can show cumulatively in URD. In case of cross charge, no specific disclosure is required. If you have not shown the figures in your preceding financial year GSTR-9 return, but now you got that you have claimed this input tax credit, then show it right now. It is also okay. Okay. Department may take your case for the scrutiny, may ask, at that time will provide the documentation. Okay. Documentation should be there with you. That is what is the very important point which we need to take care. I hope each and every query Harikishan sir, we have already show in part 1 supply on which tax is to be paid by the recipient on reverse charge mechanism, while we have covered the discussion on not taxable part. Okay. I request each one of you who is there in the session till now, whatever will be your feedback about the today's session, just put it in the chat box, because it will give some motivation to me that yes, you all are getting something. This session was useful for you. You are getting the points. Okay. Tomorrow session, yes, definitely. Based on technical approach, a lot of technical things will be covered in our tomorrow session. So be ready for our tomorrow session. Tomorrow our discussion will start sharp at 7 p.m. So try to join. Try to join the session sharp at 7 p.m. I request each one of you, please be there. And yes, if you have any query, any concerns, any concern, In that case, definitely you can ask it in chat box. We'll take in beginning of our tomorrow session as well. Yes, Devin sir, you can link the sections. I will also share the reference of section, that which section is applicable for this specific clause. Okay. At the end, when we'll provide you a 10 minutes video, in that video, what we have done, we have linked the sections as well. When you will get the video, you will found these points very easily. Tomorrow we'll start the session at 7 and we'll try, if there will be a requirement of extension, we may plan one more session for half an hour. Okay. Sir, for figures, we have an Excel file. We'll share that Excel file. That will be very good for you because we have a timeline within which we need to explain the law, within which we need to explain the terms of the various rules. So we'll try to do that. And when you will get the Excel file with marked that where from where you need to extract the data, what type of figures you need to put, it will be very easy for you to feed the figures. Format calculation will provide. Mahendra sir will try and will share in the WhatsApp group. Okay, there may be chances that we may start the session at 6:30. We'll share in the WhatsApp group. Okay, whatever will be the convenient schedule, we'll share. Rahul sir, for different scenarios, what we'll do, we'll provide you a reconciliation sheet. Okay, so that you will automatically found the types of scenarios. Although on our website, if you will visit our website www.batukconsultancy.com, a lot of free e-guides are available. If you will download the e-guides, there will be one e-guide that is on reconciliation only, around 30 to 40 pages, and it will be very helpful from the perspective of reconciliation. Yes, ITC related, we'll go for a detailed discussion. Stay assured. 8A, 8B, everything will discuss. Table 12, 13, everything will discuss. Yes, we'll share the PowerPoint presentation very soon. We'll share the PowerPoint presentation definitely. So thank you everyone for joining the session, for getting the knowledge with us. So thank you once again. We'll meet tomorrow sharp at 7 p.m. If there will be any changes in the time, we'll definitely let you know. So thank you once again for joining tomorrow sharp at 7 p.m. Bye bye. Good night. Take care.